back to the Making It a Home podcast. I'm Molly, your host. Today we are talking all about how to clean without the chemicals and how I do it, how I use natural solutions and DIYs, and I steer clear from all of those store-bought cleaners. So my natural cleaning journey started about 4 years ago. Tyler and I had been married for about a year at that point. And I've said this before in a podcast episode, but I started noticing I was getting headaches when I would clean, and my lymph nodes were starting to kind of get inflamed. My thyroid at the time was starting to hurt, and I just really was having a hard time. Every time I cleaned, I didn't feel good, and that really woke me up to what is going on? Why do these cleaners make me feel like this? I had been so used to using them, like the Clorox wipes, the scrubbing bubbles. I didn't even take a second thought about it. I was like, this is what everybody uses. It's on the grocery store shelves. It's at all the stores. Everybody uses them. How could they be bad for us if everybody has them in their home? And that's when I started doing a little bit of digging, and around that time I was also doing my holistic nutritionist certification, and I got certified in college. I'm not certified anymore. I let that go a few years ago when I decided to go on a different path, but that certification taught me so much. You would think a nutrition certification to become a nutritionist would be only about food, but I took one that was all about holistic nutrition, which means it's your food, it's your lifestyle, and it's your environment. So it's more than just the food you're eating, but it's everything around you, which can create your health to be good or bad. So it can be something from stress to the cleaning products you're using to the food you're putting in your body. And that's when I started diving into that around that time, and I was like, okay, these products are not necessarily good for you, even though they're on the store shelves, just like some of the food on the shelves are not good for you either. They're an option, but you might not want to use them or buy them and put them in your cart. So that was something that really woke me up to the idea of it's not necessarily safe to have all of these things in the store in our home. So then fast forward 2 years, when we moved here to Tennessee about 2 years ago, Tyler and I were like, okay, we are in this natural living kind of way of life. We didn't really do a lot of chemicals or anything, but we started to need to save more money. We had graduated college, we stopped traveling full time, and we needed to pinch the budget just a little bit so we could afford our home and afford the rent. So that's when we decided, okay, what can we do without? What can we make at home instead? So I really took on the role of being a homemaker and taking care of our home at that point when we moved here. So that was kind of my job to figure out how can we reduce the amount of things we're buying and needing to use in our home, not only with groceries, but also the products we're using. And at that point, I had been using natural cleaning products that I would buy. So I can't really remember what exactly I was using, but there were some different companies that I would use. I can't remember some of them. I'm really trying to. But like the well-known natural brands of cleaners I was using in our home, which those things cost a lot because they're classified as natural and safe, even though they sometimes aren't. And I don't want to get into that because a lot of people think, okay, well, it says it's safe, but it's not. And that's a whole nother podcast episode. But I was using those. And so I decided I can make this stuff at home. I saw a few bloggers online. They had DIYs for cleaners. And at first I was like, well, how good can those be? How can that really clean? Especially something like the counter after you use raw chicken, or the bathrooms, the toilets. How can that natural stuff like vinegar, how can that clean a toilet? And then I started doing research and reading these blogs, and I realized, okay, the vinegar is one of the best natural cleaners, and then Castile soap is your best friend. And Castile soap is just a natural soap, and it's pure. There's no chemicals, there's nothing junky in there, and it's relatively inexpensive. You can grab like a little container of it at most grocery stores. I know Walmart has some. The Dr. Bronner's is a really, really good option. It's pure. Also, you can get big like gallons of it on Amazon for about $20 to $30. So that one of those gallons lasts me 2 to 3 months. So a $20 to $30 gallon kind of breaks down to only about $8 to $10 per month, which is a really, really good deal. But whenever I started learning about making things, I started just experimenting. I was like, we're gonna try this, and if we don't like it, we'll just keep buying what we buy and we'll make it work. The first thing that we tried was the all natural cleaner spray, which you can use for your kitchen. You can use it in the bathrooms. You can use it as like a window wipe down, a glass wipe. Or a glass spray. You can use it for really anything. You can sanitize things, you can clean things, you can wipe spills up and messes. So I made that out of, I think I tried somebody else's recipe and it was okay. So I made my own, and it's just vinegar. You fill a bottle halfway full of vinegar, add about a tablespoon of Castile soap, and then the rest is water. And the vinegar takes care a lot of the bacteria and stuff. The Castile soap is what takes care of the actual like salmonella and things like that are really bad from like in the kitchen, from raw chicken and all of those things, as well as like if you got the flu, the soap is going to clean that better than the vinegar. So I added that in, and I still use it to this day. I have used this recipe for 2 years and I have not looked back. I use it in the bathroom. I use it for our tub. I use it for door handles when we're sick. I use it to clean the windows. It's amazing. And I have a trick. If you are using it just for glass and mirrors, you can leave out the Castile soap and it makes an amazing streak-free glass cleaner. So this recipe, this DIY, is on the blog. I'll leave the link in the show notes over on the blog, and I'll link it in the description down below this podcast episode. It is so helpful. It will save you so much money, and you can really replace the scrubbing bubbles. You can replace all those cleaner sprays. You can replace the kitchen spray. I even use it for our floor. So we have in our rental right now, I don't really know exactly what it is, but it's that like laminate stuff that they put down in planks. I use this cleaner on that, and it's worked just fine for 2 years. It cleans up the mud from our dog's paws. So yeah, it's replaced everything. And after we tried this and I fell in love with it, I started experimenting with more things. So I made a bathroom scrub that you can use on your sinks. You can use it in your bathtub. You can use it on basically any surface as long as it's not marble. Marble's a tricky one. I really don't recommend using a lot of these natural DIY things for marble. That's a whole nother thing. It's porous, it soaks stuff up and it can ruin it, but everything else is usually fine. Just remember, marble and real wood, and I think porcelain, I'm not sure. Those things you have to be really careful with what you're using on them, but otherwise you're completely fine. One thing that I did not like whenever I was trying out these DIY natural cleaners was homemade laundry soap. I know there's probably something out there that's really good, but I've tried multiple and I do not like them. I've also read a lot about how DIY laundry soaps can cause issues in your laundry machine. I don't know if those are true or not, but I did not want to take a chance, especially because we're in a rental, and I did not want to have to replace the laundry machine. So we do not use DIY laundry soap. Instead, I use a natural, non-toxic laundry soap that I buy. It's from BioClean, the Free and Clear, and I really love it. It's EWG certified, which is a really good certification. If something has that, it's been tested for a lot of chemicals, and you can go on the EWG.org website, and it will give you a whole rundown of how safe things are with an A to, I think, F rating. A is it's really safe. F is there's chemicals in it and you don't want to, it's not really good for human health. You don't want to use that. I'll leave the link to the laundry soap we use in the show notes because it is super good. Also, when you start using a homemade cleaner, a DIY cleaner that's natural, you start finding other things that you can begin to make at home instead of buying, like a homemade gnat trap. A lot of people will buy those plug-in things for the wall, those are totally fine. But I found that if you just put a little bit of honey, a little bit of apple cider vinegar, water, and a tiny little dab of soap, either dish soap, hand soap, Castile soap, and you mix it together and leave it sit out in like a little tray or a little container, the gnats will go in there because of the honey and the apple cider vinegar, but the soap will keep them stuck and it will kill them, so you don't have a whole bunch of gnats flying around your house. I love doing that. I'm trying to look through my notes quick because I had some things wrote down. What else do we use? Another thing that is on the blog is not only my bathroom scrub I was talking about, but a bug killer. So I've used this to repel bugs, and it works really good, but not for a long time. So it's more of, you see a spider, you can spray this on there and it will kill it. It has cinnamon essential oil in there. The cinnamon in there actually kills the bug's neurosystem, and then it gets rid of them, so they're not going to be crawling all over the place and escaping. And you don't have to buy those repellents that are really bad. One thing I do have to say, if you have wasp or hornets, please buy the chemical spray at the store or get a professional to help you spray and knock those down. You do not want to spray a natural cleaner or a natural spray, natural bug killer on those kind of dangerous bugs. It's really unsafe, so I don't recommend that. I don't think anybody would do that, but I just wanted to make a note. But that's another thing that I have on the blog is my DIY bug killer spray or bug repellent spray. It's just soap and vinegar and then some cinnamon essential oil. It's really easy to make and it works really well. That DIY came from a time where it was getting to be fall and our garage has some gaps in it from our garage door. And we saw that there was a spider in the corner and we thought, okay, we'll get it. We never got it. And I'm not kidding you, it had about 20 little egg things sitting everywhere. And more spiders decided to come. And then those spider eggs began to hatch. And there was baby spiders everywhere. So I was like, I have to do something. I didn't want to go to the store. I really was hesitant about using an actual chemical spray, although I would have if we needed to. I was like, what can I do first to try to kill these without chemicals? So I came inside, I did research, I created this spray. We went down and sprayed it on all the spiders, and it killed everything almost immediately. And so we've been using it ever since. So that's the story behind the DIY bug spray over on the blog. It works, it helped us, and we did not have to go buy anything. Another thing that I have over there is my hand soap. So it's just Castile soap and water. Now, I do not recommend diluting any other soap besides Castile soap. It's made to be diluted. It's a very concentrated type of soap. So you can actually dilute that, and a lot of people make their laundry soap from it as well. But we just do hand soap, and then I put it in a mason jar with a screw-on pump top. I got those on Amazon, and they are super affordable, like $10 or $20 for a pack of 6. And you just screw it on a regular mason jar, you shake it, and then you have your soap. We love it. It cleans really well. It suds up. Your hands feel really clean when you're done, and there's no residue left over. And then the last one that's over on the blog is my DIY disinfectant wipes. So they're just like Clorox wipes, but without the chemicals, and they don't dry your hands out. It's a mixture of Castile soap, vinegar, and water. They're very, very safe for your hands, very safe for your home. They're not drying anything out, and they work wonderful. I use these in the bathroom. In the bathtub, I'll use these to wipe up any like chicken residue after I cut chicken up, or say some ground beef spills out on the counter. I'll wipe it up with this, and then I quickly take it to the laundry. You can just reuse these over and over and over. All you do is you cut up an old rag or an old towel into little strips, and then you can use that as the cloths to wipe, and then you can reuse this over and over and over again. You just toss them in the laundry with your towels or your regular clothes, and then when they're done and they're dried, you roll them back up, put them back in the container, and refill it with your homemade solution. It's so simple, and it saves you so much money. So cleaning without chemicals is 100% doable. I've been doing it for about 2 years now, and I much prefer it to the chemical versions of cleaners in the grocery store and even the natural cleaners in the grocery store. I don't have to worry about buying 6 different products at a time. We have 3. We have our disinfectant wipes, our all-purpose soap, and the bathroom scrub. And then also we do have the bug spray, but I kind of keep that off to the side because it's not necessarily a cleaner. But those 3 DIYs take care of everything we could ever need for cleaning purposes, and I really do recommend switching over. I wanted to do this podcast episode because I think a lot of people want to go to the natural cleaning. They want to do the DIYs to save money, but they're kind of hesitant and unsure about if it works or if it's actually going to clean things. Some people are really nervous that they won't understand what they're doing and they'll mess it up. I'm here to tell you, if you follow the recipes, the DIYs over on the blog, you have no problem, no worry, and you don't have to overthink the process. And I hope all of these personal stories about each one gives you a little bit of a peace of mind, and knowing that I've been using them in our home for 2 years, and so can you. Thank you so much for joining me today for this podcast episode. Be sure to leave a rating. It helps so much. You can just go, if you're on Spotify, it will say rate this show. You can go and give it 5 stars. You can give, there's a little comment section. You can share what you like about this show, what you would like to hear more of. If you're watching the podcast on YouTube, be sure to subscribe so you never miss a video. Make sure you give this video a thumbs up. Thank you so much for joining me. See you next Wednesday, but until then, go make your house a home.